Hello everybody! Happy Friday, happy weekend. Welcome back to today's video. I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bettina. I am glad you found me, and if you like this video, I hope you'll stick around for a little while and maybe even subscribe to my channel. I would love that. As you can see, I have these Kuretake Granulating colors out. And you might ask yourself, B, why are you bringing these out again? Haven't we already explored all of it? Yes, we have. The reason why I'm bringing these out is because there is a new kid in town. They have come out with Granulating Colors 2. And this time around, I did not make the mistake of waiting to purchase these, but I immediately jumped on it as soon as they became available in the US. I have already watched a couple of videos of creators from the UK. Apparently they got them a lot sooner than we did. I had been checking and rechecking, particularly on Amazon, to see if they would become available in the US. And when they did, I immediately purchased them. So this is not a sponsored video, neither was the first one. I bought them with my own money. And I can tell you, they're not particularly cheap. I paid about $25 US, and I think I was able to get the first set for a little bit less because they had been around for a while. So if you are not pressed on getting these, or you're not sure whether you should get these, then just wait and the price will probably come down a little bit for these as well. All right, so what I did with the first set was swatch them out, and that's exactly what I want to do with the new set. The first set had Aurora colors, and they're all called Aurora something. So we have Aurora red, pink, orange, blue, and violet. And this is what they look like. And they are granulating colors, but as you can see, sometimes you even get more than one color in one color, which is pretty amazing. There's some pink, there's some burgundy in here, and then you have this really lovely turquoise in there as well. And there's brown and orange and a green. So they're really quite fascinating colors to work with. The reason why I hesitated buying the first set, because I wasn't sure exactly what they were about. But the moment I started working with them, I knew they would work really well with how I work with watercolors, which is I already use quite a bit of water on my paper. So working with these was truly magical. So the way I want to work with the new set is the same approach that I did with the first one. So I want to swatch them out, and then I want to create something similar to this, because it was really fun not only to watch the colors appear on each section, but then also as they were blending into each other, it was really pretty to look at. The only thing I won't do this time around is add the gold, because it definitely distracted from the colors themselves. So I won't be doing that again. And then what I would like to do is explore each color individually. And that is also what I did with the first set. So as you can see, I did not add any gold to any of these, except for once the color was dry. That's when I went in and added some gold on top of it, just so that I wouldn't disturb the pigments themselves. And all of these are available on my channel for you to watch if you haven't done so yet. And in fact, I've decided to put them in a playlist so that they're easily found. And I am also going to rename each of those videos to make sure that you don't get confused which set it is. Because back then, I think it was about 8 months ago when I did these, I didn't know that they were going to come out with a new set. So I created each one of these with one color, and it's just, you can see how amazing they look on paper. Yes, I did add some pencil marks in it as well to enhance certain areas, but the initial mixing of the colors on the paper was amazing to watch. So that is what I want to try with this new set as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to make them in the same style. I don't know, because I've kind of moved on from this. But I don't know. I'm also kind of curious how I am approaching this style today. So if the background that I'm creating sparks an interest for me to create something in this style, then I will. But only time will tell. I am not sure yet. All right, so let's explore this new set. They're called Kuretake GANSAI Granulating Colors 2. There's 5 colors that come in this set, and they are Cosmic Red, Cosmic Olive, Cosmic Green, Cosmic Blue, and Cosmic Violet. And they're exactly packaged as the first one. And as you can see, this set as well comes with an empty pan. What I love about these big pans is that a brush like this will easily fit into this kind of pan. And it's just really fun to work with such a large surface. They're big, but they're not filled completely up to the top. In fact, where you see the line of the color end is not where the actual color ends. So it's a little dipped in. So if you think like this is a ripoff, first of all, don't buy them and click off this video, because you won't be interested then in what you're going to see next. It may sound like a lot of money, but the colors themselves do go a long way. And in the beginning, I actually used way too much pigment, and I didn't even get the effect that I was looking for. So start with a little bit and then gradually add more. You get a much better result with these colors. I have to say though, if you are a person that uses watercolor more in the traditional way for, florals or what have you, still life, I don't know, then these might not work for you, or you might not get the effect that you want. For me personally, they work beautifully because I already use a lot of water on my paper. So to me, this is a perfect set to work with. And hopefully by exploring each color individually again, you will see what I mean when I say that. What they are suggesting you do before you start working with them is add water to them and let them sit for a little while so that the pigments can get activated and it's easier to work with. So that is the next step that I want to do. So I'm going to add a few drops into each pan, and then we're going to let them sit for a little bit. I have some containers on the side that I want to use after, so I'm not even going to bother with this. But because I am going to be adding more water to the pan later, this just works a little bit better for me. So at first glance, what I can see is that the red has some orange in it. I hope the camera will pick this up. The olive has some red in it. There is, I think, some yellow in the cosmic green, although it's not as visible as, for example, the red. Look how beautiful that orange is already coming out. So I'll be curious to see what that looks on the paper. The blue looks green in the pan, but as you activate it, it looks now blue. So on top, there is blue pigment coming up, while the bottom, the dry part, is still green. See that? And then the violet looks fairly black in its dry stage. And as I activate it with the water, there is a teal that shines through. So already I am excited for what this is going to look like. So let's go ahead and start swatching. From what I heard from other creators is the colors react differently on the different kinds of paper. So the rougher the texture is, the more that granulation will come out. I have to say, this is, I think, one of the cheaper papers. It was a scrap paper that I had laying around, so I'm gonna try and use that paper. And then as I am working on this kind of painting, I will use the nice Hahnemühle paper for that, so that you can then see the difference. So I'm going to put down just some water, and I'm going to dip my brush into the red. So as I am getting the wet paint and I'm putting it into my container, it's actually still red. So I'm going to add more water to this, but I don't want to add too much water to the diluted paint because I already have water on my paper. So let's just work with this and see how this will turn out. And we can always add either more water or more pigment. I'm gonna have the top a little bit more concentrated. And then we'll swirl it around a little bit and see if we can already see something happening. So I think the camera will pick this up. There is definitely, in the more diluted part, there's definitely the orange that is peeking through. But I can also see some magenta. Can you see that? There's magenta on this side. So we have a lovely red. There is orange and there is magenta in it. I would even go as far as saying it's a very light orange, almost yellow. Wow. Look at that. And that's what I mean. I did not use a lot of pigment at all. In fact, I'm gonna prep my brush for the next color because now I'm excited. Look how pretty it looks in the pan. So beautiful. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. So we definitely have the magenta, the red, and then an orange here. All right, next up, let's use fresh, clean water. This is gonna be difficult because I don't want to move the paper too much. Next up, we have Cosmic Olive. I rinsed my brush out. I'm gonna dip it in here, and then I'm gonna add some more water to this. So as you can see, it's almost, I don't know if the camera picks this up, but it's almost an army green. So now we're gonna add some more water and mix it in. I think I added a little bit too much water, so let me add a little bit more pigment. All right, right now it doesn't look like much. It looks like a dirty brown. Ooh, I can see purple. I can definitely see the purple starting to come through. Look at that. Wow. All right, let's add a little bit more. And then there is almost like a sap green. So again, you have 3 different colors in this one. That is amazing. So far, I like them even more than the first set, if I'm being honest. And as I'm swirling the second, trying to concentrate on the second color, that first color is also being swirled around again. Look how beautiful that grading is. That's amazing. I love that. Okay, I'm rinsing out, and this is what it looks like in the pan. Beautiful. All right, clean. Next, we're gonna add another blob of water. Okay, what does this one have in store? Okay, I put some water in the dish already. Next we have Cosmic Green. I just want to make sure I don't contaminate the colors so that we can get a good representation of what these colors really look like. This looks very, it feels chalky, almost like this is the wrong color. But as we know, they are magical. So I have quite a bit of pigment on here now, so let's transfer it to the paper and have it do its thing. I can't really see anything as of now. Obviously, the paper is buckling a little bit as it's drying or, you know, getting wet. So this one's already drying a little bit more, and you can see the concentration of the yellow or the orange and the magenta. So there's nothing going on here just yet. Come on. This one's a little more shy, but I think it's a good idea for you to see what it takes and how long it takes for these colors to separate and do their thing. So the Cosmic Green, this last one, almost feels like there is there is a darker sort of turquoise coming through right here in the middle and up here where it's starting to granulate. But it's not as impressive as the first two at the moment. So I'm gonna let this one sit and I'm gonna continue with number 4. So if this is already looking the way it is on this cheaper paper, I cannot wait to see what it's going to do on more expensive paper. All right, so now I'm doing Cosmic Blue, which looked army green in the pan. Whoa, does not look army green in here. Definitely looks blue. That is so fascinating. All right, that's enough of the pigment. And now let's drop it in. Yep, that's definitely blue, but we'll see what it does. I also found that to be the same when I was working with the first set, that some of the colors you need a lot less of it than others. I can already tell that this blue feels a lot more saturated, to the point where I am not even probably going to need all of that. But in the pan, I can already see the orange come through. So maybe some orange and some brown? I don't know. Let's see. What's this guy doing here? Cosmic green. Yeah, there's definitely a darker shade of turquoise in this one. Not as impressive as the first two. Whoa, this is a little bit more difficult to move around. Yeah, this one, the Cosmic Blue, has definitely some orange in it as well. And it almost feels like, what was this one? The Aurora Blue. The Aurora Blue also had some of that orange in it as well. But we'll see what it looks like when it's dry. Also not as impressive to me as the first two. But I am not judging it just yet, because it may very well be that either one of these two will surprise me. I'm trying to buckle the paper the other way so it can move around a little bit more. It's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Very exciting. All right, let's do the last one, because I know you guys want to watch me create something with these colors, I'm sure. Cosmic Violet is the last one, which looked very dark, and activated looked blue. Whoa! Yay. Okay, I think that's enough. That also feels a lot more pigmented than the first three. Still looks very violet in here. Because I can already tell that this one has also some turquoise in it. And I think that's as much as I'm going to add with this one. This definitely is very, very pigmented itself. Whoops. Okay. So I see on the Cosmic Blue, I see some almost maybe a phthalo blue in it, in the darker sections, and some of the orange. But the orange is not as dominant as it was in the Aurora one. And this one definitely has some beautiful purple in here. As they are drying, I am going to move them around a little bit just so that I can make sure that it goes everywhere. I might have to push the paper down a little bit so that it's not pooling too much on one side. Let me see, because it's buckling quite a bit. This one too. So I'm gonna be playing around with these a little bit more as they are drying, because when I do that, I get different variations of those colors. So I definitely want to keep moving them around as they're drying. All right, I will be back once these are dried, and then we can go ahead and create something fun. Okay, it's not completely dry yet, but most of them are. It's just these two that still had quite a bit of paint on them. Also, I had a little mishap where this one wanted to join with this guy, but I tried to mop it up so as to not contaminate this side too much, and I think I was fairly successful. But let me bring you up closer so that you can have a little better view of how they ended up drying. So this one that I thought looked similar to the one from the first set dried completely different. There's definitely a different color underneath this one, so it's not the same. Also, the blue looks different from this set, albeit the two of them are very similar, but still I don't think they're exactly the same, so you don't have to worry that you're getting a color that has already been presented. The only one of the set that I'm not super impressed with is the third one, and that was the Cosmic Green. I'm hoping that with a different paper we'll get a better result for this one, but overall they're very stunning. So now I'm going to paint one of these, and then we'll doodle over it, and we'll look at it when that is done. Oh, before I continue, look at how beautiful this looks. I mean, can I bottle this just like that? I might have to take a picture of it. And this one as well. I mean, it's amazing. The other three still have quite a bit of paint in them, so I'm not getting that much of a difference. But these two, wow. Wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. Also, this one strongly reminds me of the color combination that I did last week. Maybe that's why I like it so much. Anyway, I will be using the cold pressed watercolor paper by Hanemule, and I will be using the back side, which has a little bit more texture to it, so as to get the most out of these paints. All right, let's keep going. So I have decided to leave them separate, but now I'm going to let them, especially starting at the top, let them mingle together a little bit now that they've dried a little bit more. Wow, that looks really cool. All right, I'm gonna clean up a little bit and then let this dry. And then we'll be back to examine. Okay, now it's all dry, and what do we think? I really like all of these colors. I like them as well when they mix together. Even that teal one mixes really well with the more green one, and makes it a little bit more interesting that way as well. So if you're ever wondering, you know, should I mix those two together and we're gonna mess these colors up, I think you can. They look really nice. All right, so I am going to doodle on top of this, and then we can call this one done.